Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Vegan Prepper here, ready to do a couple chat. It's gonna be awesome. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Vegan Prepper. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Vegan Prepper. All right, so tonight, I think we're just getting right into our topic, unless you have anything that you would like to share with everyone.
I don't think so.
Shocker. All right, so
Thanks for stopping by.
That's it. Bye. No, actually, we have an awesome topic, I think, tonight. It's making me rethink a lot of stuff about our prepping and whatnot. So you had an experience that sort of brought up this amazing conversation, and I think, yeah, it's pretty great. You can share that. Do you want to share our topic?
Sure.
Sure. I'm getting him to share a thing. You're gonna share stuff.
We're going to be talking about complacency and prepping.
Yeah.
So, my experience, yes. My experience, I was doing some repairs on my truck, and I had to go to the auto parts store for more stuff, because that's how it goes. I got a stack of parts and tools ready to go, and there's always one more thing I need. So I jumped in Kathy's car and went to get some parts, and on the way I broke down. So then we had two vehicles broken down because my truck was totally torn apart. It had the cooling system all taken apart on it. So I couldn't call Kathy to come rescue me because both of our vehicles were down. So I realized at that point I had nothing with me. My standard everyday carry, I left at home because I was wearing a pair of shorts and I rushed out of the house. So I had my pocket knife and my cell phone and my wallet. Because always have a pocket knife on me. But so I spent a little time trying to figure out what was wrong with the car, and I had a couple of ideas, but all I had was my pocket knife. So I was using it for some things it's not designed for, and thankfully I didn't break this one, because I have broken pocket knives before, doing things with them that I shouldn't have been doing.
Improper use of a tool.
Yes, totally. So yeah, kind of got me thinking how I really should be prepared for things to happen that I don't expect.
Weird.
Weird.
I don't know if that ever comes up around here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess that is kind of the very definition of what you don't expect.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, of course, you don't know what you don't expect until the unexpected happens, and you're like, whoa, I did not expect that. So you're not prepped. Yeah. But I thought you were so funny. In the kitchen, he goes, it's called an EDC for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a reason I carry all of the things I carry with me every day. It's for things like this.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So, pardon me. We all know I had COVID. So I'm dealing with the lingering, like the sinus drainage, and I have the lingering. So if you hear me cough, that's kind of what's going on. But I'm better now. Yay, thank God. But shoot, I forgot what I was going to say. So I had to explain my cough.
Yes.
Anyway, I guess let's just continue then.
Yeah, so
it's okay.
Basically that flowed into, well, why don't I have tools in Kathy's car when I have tools in my car? And it's something that I have mentioned on many instances, like, hey, I need to put a toolkit together for Kathy's car, because for the most part I have the tools, I just need to put them into a bag and put them in the car.
Right.
So
yeah, and so I did remember what I was just about to say, like maybe your reason for complacency in that moment. So like, why didn't you have your EDC? Well, you're not at work, you're at home, and you're just running out for like a quick thing. So at work, stuff is far more likely to come up. You're more focused on making sure you have all your stuff.
Yeah, at work I'm 15 miles from home. This was 3 miles from home.
Mm-hmm.
I could technically walk that, but
Yeah.
I'm leaving a car behind. And
Yeah, so it's just, so that's probably like the reason you were complacent in that moment. So now we've been spending some time kind of thinking about why was I complacent? Why did I not do the thing I was supposed to do? Like trying to figure out kind of the psychology of it so that we can fix it. So like even like what you were saying, like a lot of times we say, I need to do this, I need to do that, and then we don't ever get it done. Like how many times have I mentioned, even on the channel, if you guys watch a lot, like I need to get the car kits done. It's like it's time. I have to get my car kits. I'm doing this for my car kits.
there they are.
I still don't have any car kits. I have stuff right here.
Oh, sweet.
I'm gonna do show and tell in a second of all of the work that I have done thus far for the car kits. It's a lot. Not really. But it's like the thing it reminds me of, again, trying to get back to like kind of the root of it psychologically, like I was reading once, because I read all kinds of things, that there was a study done on people who were attempting to make a positive change in their food choices. And they would go into, so they were doing like a behavioral study, and they had a group of people who went into a restaurant where there were no salad options, nothing that would be considered traditionally healthy on the menu. It was just, burgers or whatever. And then another group of people who went, and again, these are all people who were attempting to make a positive change, who went into a restaurant where there were a bunch of healthy options and burgers and pizzas and whatnot. So what they found was somewhat fascinating, kind of like the psychology of humans, is the people who went into the restaurant with none of the healthy choices were a lot more careful, and they got smaller portions, and they made better decisions, because I guess they recognized, I'm walking into a minefield, I need to take these precautions, whatever. But then the group of people who went that had all the healthy options on the menu, they would take, this is like the conclusion of the study, they took a moment to consider getting the salad, getting the healthy thought, or getting the healthy choice. And so something about even just considering doing the right thing sent off the, like, is it like dopamine or whatever, the reward center of the brain fired. Then they felt like, I did so well considering getting a salad. I need to treat myself. And then they did way worse than the group that didn't even have the healthy option, because they had that little mental thing. So I think that could be partly what's going on. Like when I say, I need to get that done, I think, I noticed a thing that I need to get done. Good for me. And then I don't do it because I like already rewarded myself just for considering it. So anyway, that was just a thought.
Indeed.
But yeah. So anyway, I think it's a good topic.
Yeah.
Kind of explore. Why are we complacent? Yeah. Not from the, like, there's certain preppers, and I don't want to name them by name because I'm not trying to like criticize anyone at all. But they get so like, there's no excuses. And like they're so, what is a different word for that other than hard? I don't want to say hard. I don't mean difficult. But, like a man who's like drill sergeant, like really critical, preachy about all that stuff. Anyway, and so I don't want to be like that. So that's kind of why I feel like it's important to explore the topic.
Yeah.
But I also want to, because I want to get stuff done.
Yeah.
So anyway, this is not about excuses.
We want you guys to get stuff done too. Yeah. So you can learn from our mistakes.
Mm-hmm. So complacency and prepping. So we have some ideas kind of written out on a little thing over here about some of the reasons that we might become complacent in our prepping. And so I have number one, I have we do have such good systems in place, don't we? Well, good, not good, but that's why we prep. But like it's the ease of falling back on those systems is like, oh, I don't have to think about that, I can just buy it if I need it. So sometimes that ends up happening.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the instance of a motor vehicle, a lot of people think, oh, it's called AAA, or well, have somebody come and get me. That's all well and good until it's 115 degrees outside in the summertime, and it takes 3 hours for the tow truck to get there.
Yeah, and you have no shade. You have no. Yeah.
We'll probably sign us up for our towing service on the insurance because it's super cheap.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good to still have it, or it's good until you get a flat tire and you have no cell signal.
Correct.
Or so you can have the thing in place that does help you, but to still be capable of dealing with it. Yeah. Should you have to do it yourself. So yeah, it's true. I also said one of the things. Oh, this ties into the thing I was saying about people being so like, just get it done, whatever. I think also that a lot of preppers have kind of that lone wolf mentality.
Yeah.
Almost like there's almost like something that, maybe that's what it is. It's like you almost have something to prove. I did it all by myself. I did, like it's almost a pride thing. And I guess you should be proud if you're an extremely capable human being, be proud of that. But I guess there's a difference of being proud of something and being prideful. Yeah. But I was thinking about how difficult some of these things are. So like one of the things I was saying is, or I have listed here, is with the ease of falling back on the system, like this fall and winter, I haven't planted like anything in my garden. And this is the prime growing season. This is a time of year when we don't buy greens from the store, but I just did a Costco haul video that's probably going to post before this one. And I have a ton of greens that I bought from the store because I haven't been growing it. And now, obviously, if it were like life or death and I had literally no other access to greens except for what I grow, I would be much more motivated to get out there no matter how crazy and weird and just crazy our year has been. Crazy. So, but I was thinking about that, like, no excuses, just get on and do it. It's like, oh my gosh, you guys, what we have been having happen to us in this year has just been crazy. But like, I was thinking about how like now in modern times, we have all of this pressure on us to take care of things ourselves, that these systems have been put into place and the systems are in place or whatever. And that's all well and good. But it's like, because we can rely on these systems, we stop relying on each other. We've lost our sense of community. Yeah. There is not really community anymore surrounding us. People originally did not survive on their own. They did not live alone in their own house and like never talk to their neighbors or not even know who their neighbors are or anything like that. It just wasn't something that existed.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me of a story that I heard of these women in this village. And I can't remember what the village was, but it was another thing that I read that I thought was fascinating. Where they would go down, I don't know, it's like every couple days or something, go down to the river and wash all the clothes. And these women in this community would be down there all day long, like washing clothes with stones, at the river. Like, it was a huge job. And so this charity organization came in and thought, well, wouldn't it be amazing to relieve these women of this work? And then got them all washing machines. Long story short, the women in this village ended up being incredibly depressed. And then they had to figure out, like, why are they now suddenly all suffering from depression and all of this stuff? And they traced it back to the fact that even though the women technically had it easier as far as laundry went, they had lost their community and they were no longer together. And so the community ended up being more important to the mental health of these women than getting relieved of that job. And it was something that they were kind of extrapolating out into our modern lives in general, that we have many conveniences. We've got dishwashers, we've got washing machines and dryers. And certainly I don't want to, walk 10 miles for my water every day or whatever. There's definitely certain modern conveniences, but there's, kind of a balance there that we don't have a community anymore.
Yeah.
We miss connection. We are communal beings. We're meant to be together. So anyway. Yeah. All right. You do the next one. I've been talking a lot. I keep telling him, I talk too much. You need to talk more in this one.
So yeah, another reason we get complacent is just life. The daily grind, the chaos that happens. As Kathy mentioned, we've had a bit of a chaotic year and a lot of adaptation, a lot of adjustment to life, and adding prepping on top of that, increasing, because we were trying to constantly be increasing, to not settle down to where we are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got the buckets behind us and go, okay, cool, we're good on food, rock and roll. And then just leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
So we are trying to be constantly moving forward, but trying to add that onto maintaining preps and also just, you know, daily life. It gets hard. So
Yeah.
When Kathy was down with COVID, I was home from work and I got to learn about life at home. I like had all these plans, like, oh, I got, you know, work make me take the time off. And I was like, oh, cool, I'll get some projects done, maybe finish the bathroom and work on the cars and all this. And I didn't do any of it. It's like nonstop.
As soon as you wake up.
Yep.
Like,
Just
boom.
doing things. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, the entire time I'm at work, she's at work, and just, yeah, a lot of work. So, yeah, trying to add extra things on top of that can be very difficult.
Talk about the kitchen. It's like, you could talk about that. I don't even need like flowers. Just talk to me about the kitchen again. I'm just like,
So yeah, I would get up in the morning and I would unload the dishwasher, and then I would load the dishwasher, and I would do hand wash dishes, and I'd make breakfast. And there was an entire kitchen worth of dishes again somehow. So I would get those dishes done, and then it was time to make lunch. And I'm like, who's using all these dishes? It's just us here. It's like, I don't know if the kids were throwing dishes from school or something. Like, so then I'd make lunch, and I'd turn around, and the counter's full of dishes again. It's like, there's got to be a better way. Yeah, it's like every time I thought I had the kitchen taken care of, another meal happened, and then it was time to do dishes all over again. I was ready to just throw away the dishes and buy paper plates. Rock and roll, done.
No, we do not do paper plates in this house. But yeah, it's unreal because, and then also obviously too with Sage,
yes,
flitting in and out and all her needs.
She wants to help me make pancakes. Okay, I'm sure that will make the job faster. I can ruin pancakes perfectly fine by myself.
Oh, honey, you do well. Yeah, it's just it's interesting. Yeah, like seeing, but like laundry too, and like all, you know, it was really interesting too, just like kind of being laid up on the couch, like just having that feeling for a couple days. Like I had been hit by a truck and I was just like could not move, but like I was so tired, but sort of seeing my life through his eyes was really interesting. But it's encouraging because I have said it before, like this is not something I meant to talk about, but something that it's a tidbit for any women out there, because I have, or men, if you're like this too, but I hear a lot of men complain about how, like, or even women do too, it's like they want to help, but then their wife says that they don't do it right. And I hear women complain about that too. It's like, I'd have him help, but he doesn't even do it right. And it's like they get like, well, they get prideful or uppity or like snarky about it, like oh, he's so stupid, he doesn't know how to do this simple thing. And it's basically like the way that they're talking about it. And I'm so grateful that God, like, I feel like God leads me in a lot of ways. And one of the ways that he was showing me is like, you know, to be nice, not nag, and understand that if they don't know how to do it, it makes sense. Like you or the kids, you don't know how to do something. That makes sense because it's not your job. You aren't doing it all the time. And so I can teach how to do it, but in a nice way. But also realizing, I realized many years ago that actually my job is highly specialized. and to expect everybody else to just know how to do everything that I do is actually selling myself short, because this is just staying home, like, oh, you're just a stay-at-home mom or whatever, but it's like, no, you have a you have a very highly specialized job. And even like if we moved to a new house, I would have a brand new highly specialized job. Things would change based on where I am or whatever. So to not get angry about people not knowing how to do what you do,
yeah,
can, you know, maybe save your marriage. I don't know. But yeah, and just try to be nice about correction. It's like, oh, this is why we do it this way. You know, so that, because that thing that he just said, there's got to be a better way to do this. You do that all the time. Like, want to come in and like, oh, I have arrived, you know, and now I'm going to fix this so that it works better. And it's like, okay, sweetie, have fun with that. And sometimes you do help, but a lot of times it's like, can we just do it the way that I do it, please? Anyway, sorry, that was free. We saved some marriages now.
You're welcome.
But yeah, the grind and chaos of everyday life. What I thought of too about this is like the food stuff is honestly, that's like a little easy to figure out, the prep and the water and stuff, but especially like the food, because that just happens like while I'm already grocery shopping.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like these extra things like car kits, like putting together tools for the car, doing like those kind of extra things that are jobs that you have to actually like sit down and do separately, that aren't part of like the everyday. So it kind of makes sense too. Okay, so what is the solution to the grind and chaos of everyday life? I don't know. I probably could use some sort of system. So we have talked on the channel before many times about how I have ADHD, and I'm kind of like this. I'm an extremely creative, artistic person, and that is not my wheelhouse, but it's not as an excuse. It's like I have many strengths in many areas that other people don't. But so realizing I need a routine. So like Tony Robbins actually likes to say, hire your weakness, because no person is an island. No person can do everything themselves. And so you recognize what are your weaknesses and then hire that out. Like he's talking about it as a business, but I actually take a ton of his advice and apply it to the house. And so realizing I have the solution, I just haven't done it. Like that's really what it is actually doing it. Flylady has always been a huge help to me, flylady.net. And so she's got tons of routines and stuff. And I just basically, I don't know what to do every day. So I need to just go on Flylady and say, Flylady, what do I do every day? And then just do what she says. And then hopefully just create a system that will end up working. Yeah. And I guess employing help. Right?
Yep. There's 5 people in this house. It should be a 5-person job. Taking care of stuff.
Yeah. So you feel like there's enough work? Like if I had a lot of help, it wouldn't be like I'm lazy now?
What?
Like, I don't know, because like that's how I feel sometimes too, where it's like I'm the one that stays home, so it's like I feel guilty making somebody else do something.
Oh. It's like you're not doing anything else.
Yeah. I still run a business too, which is also takes up a huge amount of my time. So yeah, like you were doing all that and you weren't even filling orders.
Correct.
Gosh, yeah. So yeah, it's been an education, like seeing my life through his eyes, actually feeling so bad for him and realizing, gosh, yeah, I should be making some changes. So okay, we're gonna get on that. So yeah, we just learn stuff. It's like we're constantly growing and learning. So okay, all right. So then the next thing.
Oh yeah. We don't necessarily know what to prep for until that thing has happened.
Yeah. So how do you prepare for what you don't even know? Yeah.
Yeah, I hate to get into the realm of like trying to figure out every worst case scenario so we can be prepped for it. But still having to kind of look at general scenarios, like, you know, break down into certain categories, like general topics.
Yeah.
Go. Yes. How could I prep for a green shortage? Maybe have some greens planted in the yard.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we prep for, food shortages and interruption of supply chains and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's funny, we didn't really prep for that stuff until that happened.
Well, we kind of were.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, that's the thing where it's, like, I think so much of, and it's, like what we've always said, like, I guess I didn't call myself a prepper until 2020.
Yeah.
But we've always been, like, well, because we've faced, many financial hardships in our marriage. Like, there have been times when things were so tough. Like, I can remember times when we were getting food from a food bank. There were weeks when, we'd have enough money for stuff, but all that would be left at the end was like $5 for groceries. I can remember that clearly, walking into a Sprouts with only $5 to spend for that week and trying to ponder, what do I have at home? What do I need to get? And realizing, well, we're out of garlic. I bought garlic, and I bought, I think I bought a bag of beans or something like that. But we still had stuff stocked because, like, we haven't, it wasn't my first rodeo with dealing with financial issues. So I put a thing in place where I called replace the spare. So in prepping communities, they say 2 is 1 and 1 is none. But for us, it was always what I would say is replace the spare. So I learned to always have an extra of pretty much everything on hand. Dish soaps, laundry detergents, things like that. So, to prep it out, shampoos, deodorants, and stuff, so that when we'd use one that was set aside, the next time I bought one to replace the one that we used, or the one that we cycled forward, so that we would never run out. So that, like, on those weeks when we would get super tight, I wouldn't have to buy the thing, because we still had it at home, so I could focus on other things. And so this is just, what happens with, like, people look at us sometimes too. Like, you've had many people look at you and say, I don't know how you do it, like with a wife, 3 kids, like basically having a single income. And it's like, it hasn't always been easy.
No.
There's been many times I was thinking about going back to work. But
Yeah.
Ultimately, the main reason was because childcare was so expensive.
Yeah.
That was the primary reason that I never went back to work. Because childcare would have eaten up anything I would have earned.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, we made it work.
Yeah.
But a lot of it was because we were preppers before we knew what preppers were. That's what we were doing. So when shortages hit in 2020, we were basically fine. Like, we were set. Like, we didn't have any issues. I think we still had to go out for, again, it was just like fresh produce was that's always our main thing. I have to figure out how we get our fresh produce. But yeah, so it's good. So we've always been pretty good. But we didn't have it set up like this. Like, we've amped it up for sure. But yeah, I think it's just being prepared. But I was thinking, like, what's the difference between knowledge and wisdom, right?
What is that?
Knowledge, learning from your own mistakes, and then wisdom is learning from other people's mistakes. So hopefully you can get some wisdom from us talking about some of this stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, also, getting ideas from other people.
Yeah. We do spend quite a bit of time watching other preppers' channels and videos.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely get some good ideas for things that we've missed and opportunities we have to get more set up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And then, like, the other idea I have, because we have actually a binder that is our like prepping binder that what actually used to contain our lists and stuff, and so we need to start. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. That so the thought I had was to, as you have an issue, to maybe just take a moment to say, I just had this problem, and then be aware, and then go write that down. Write down what was the problem I just had, and then hopefully, if you can't figure out a solution right that second, just have like a little list of things to fix the next time you sit and you're ready to prepare for the next thing. So what is our step moving forward?
Write stuff down.
Yeah.
Get some car kits done.
Get some car kits done. But yeah, like make a list.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start getting organized about it. Just like we did like with a lot of the stuff. And we said, by this date, we want this many weeks of food. We want this, you know, and so then we, you know, focus on it. So we just need to put a date. By the end of the year or by Christmas or whatever, we will have fully finished, as far as we can tell, car kits. So now what, I don't know, what do you think would be our first step now for making that happen?
Building a list of the things that we want from the car kits.
Right. And then how do we even know what to put on the list?
I have a pretty good idea as far as the mechanical end.
Yeah, like your tools and stuff. But yeah, as far as other stuff, I guess it's probably just watching some videos.
Yeah.
Of people's car kits, car EDCs, you know. So, I mean, so far what I, it's silly, but I did get Firebox Nanos for all of the vehicles. And so this is just like a little stove, and it'll take anything like a transient burner or sticks or whatever. We've also already got matches and water in the car. We've got like fire starting capabilities. We've got Firebox stoves. Excuse me. Stainless steel cups for cooking food that doesn't exist in the cars yet. Well, I mean, I guess at least it could be for boiling water.
Yeah.
You know. And then the thing that we have just added recently is little telescopic bellows. If you haven't seen these, they're pretty awesome. It's just like a little thing, and it opens up so that when you have the stove going, you can blow to like be further away to blow to get fires going again. Because we were actually out with Sage after we had bought these things to see, this is us being totally real with you guys, that we were out with Sage doing a really fun little day trip thing, and we had the firebox with us. It wasn't the Nano, it was the big one. But we had a fire going, we cooked ourselves some meals outside, and then you were down there, like right at the hole of the stove, and it was like, oh yeah, we have those things. That would have been awesome for this. So just put it in the kits, you know. It's just, yeah, it's like, get with it, man. I think sometimes complacency can come from especially if you're more established.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you feel like you've done a lot, and it's kind of like, I got this. I know what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you don't. Then it rains and you can't make a fire or something, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. So I think that it can be something that creeps in for everyone, especially people who already prep a lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I guess constantly looking at, so like I said earlier, how can we be improving? How can we be better at all of this?
Right. What's the next thing?
Yeah.
Always do the next thing. So I guess for us right now, that's car kits.
Yeah.
So look for it. Right. And if you are watching this right now and you don't see a video on car kits, like in December sometime or like in early January, call us on it. Like, where are those car kits? So, yeah.
Hopefully in the cars.
For real. Okay. So, oh, you know what? I just realized for anybody who's still watching, give us tips. One of my hangups is also, I think one of the complacency things ends up being like decision paralysis, where there's too many things and you end up like make it go away. And that might be more of an ADHD thing where it's like you, I guess to save yourself stress, you just push it aside. Like, and so you end up procrastinating because of decision paralysis, but also especially like if you don't know what you're supposed to do. So one of the main things that I need in the car kits is food for the car kits. So if anybody knows, if you guys know more than we do at this point, you know of something that is good specifically for extremely hot cars. How hot do our cars get?
160-ish.
So that it gets to be like 160 inside. Okay. So like right now, in the cooler months, our cars aren't getting even close to as hot. But I'm thinking about like May through August, our cars, and September, our cars are insanely hot. And so I'm trying as hard as I can to think of food that I can leave in the car, even through extreme heat, that will be okay and still like be safe to eat should we need it. Maybe it doesn't have to be still, you know, tip top shape, but like
safe and eatable.
Safe, please. So like, yeah, like the canned goods are out. Things like that, you know, maybe some dried food. So if anybody knows of something like specific about that, please let us know in the comments down below. Or give us your ideas or whatever. We'll look into that. That is a huge part of why I haven't done this yet, is trying to figure out the research on how to get stuff that will survive in the car in extreme heat. So, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it. I know stuff exists because, like, you know, like with the Gulf, I was reading something at some point too about the rations that they made for the military in the Gulf War, that it had to be like that. It had to be super resistant to heat, obviously, because they were in the desert, you know. So are we. So I'm like, hey, military. This is Kathy the vegan prepper. Could you send me vegan MREs? I don't even know if they make
Probably not.
like, so that's the other thing where it's like it's got to be vegan, and so there might be some options out there, but you know, we need vegan stuff. So
we need a military care package with food and guns.
That's a whole other topic. Okay. You said that word now. We're going to get demonetized. We're not even monetized yet. Okay, all right.
Pew-pewers.
Pew-pewers. Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, all right. I think that is genuinely it. What? I did want you to talk more, so.
It's true.
This is on. This is. This is on me. I love you. Okay, I guess that's all. So, as always, we hope the rest of your day is good and your life stays wonderful. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. Let us know, what is your next step going to be for your prepping? But yeah, we're going to be rooting out some complacency. Okay, all right. See y'all later. Bye. Hello, it's Mr. and Mrs. V. It's like I don't even know who we are. Who are we? I don't know.